Welcome PGCE students to this natural science course, and this is the online component where we are looking at becoming a natural science teacher. In this first module, we are going to look at the management, administrative and leadership roles of the teacher. Let's first have a look at the outline of this module. There are 14 components. They are all very short. The first one is an introduction to the module, which you're watching now. Then we will briefly look at the Schools Act, a school's code of conduct. So your school rules need to fit within that code of conduct. Then we will look at classroom management and effective classroom management, how to manage group work, laboratory safety, how to organize field trips, and then your administrative roles as a teacher, how to manage finances, and then we will look at school governance in terms of the Schools Act and the leadership roles you could play there. We will have a brief look at teacher induction and then look at mentoring, because you will be a mentor at some stage and you will be mentored, and then we will look at leadership styles. So as you can see, the duties of a teacher, they're neither few nor small, but they elevate the mind and give energy and character. So that is your role. Let's now just look at the assessment for this module. There are 3 assignments. Now, the assignments are mental rehearsal activities in a situational task. So what do I mean by that? Well, a mental rehearsal is an imagined mental practice of performing a task as opposed to actual practice. And it's more than just visualization. You have to see what will you be doing in that task? How will you act in that task? You have to think through the things you would need to do in that actual practice. Then a situational task is something that often happens, for example, in an interview. You will go for many teaching interviews and they will ask you, how will you manage group work? So they are problematic occupational meta-subject situations that are close to professional practice. So you have to imagine yourself in that situation, and that's what they will do in many interviews. So this will also give you some practice in how to perform those situational tasks, how to think through something based on the knowledge you know and put it into practice. Now, as I said, there are 3 assignments, but you have to complete at least 2 of the 3 mental rehearsals. And as long as you have 50%, you don't need to complete the third one. So that is the assessment. We can now get down and look a bit more at what I mean by mental rehearsal and situational tasks. Okay, so I think it's time for me to stop talking for a while. I would like you to pause the video here, and if you look on the module, you'll see there's a link to the BBC Bite Size, and I want you to have a look at what mental rehearsal is, what visualization is, and what the task will actually entail. So pause the video now and come back when you've done that. Let's have a look at why you should do mental rehearsal from the BBC Bite Size website. Okay, now before I look at what the site actually said, I first want to talk about the top 5 qualities of effective teachers according to teachers. So this is research based. Now, firstly, is the ability to develop trusting, productive relationships with your students. Because in a sense, really, you're working with the students. So you need to develop that trusting, productive relationship in the teaching and learning process. Secondly, is being patient, caring, and kind. Students respond better if they know that you care about their future, you care about them, you're kind and patient with them. The second is you must have knowledge of learners. Now, this is not only the learners that are in your class, but cognitive abilities, learning theories, and how to work with them. So you need to know all of those things about your students. Then dedication to teaching. The students can see your dedication. You are involved with them every day. So they will know if you are dedicated to the profession, and they will see that by the kind of production you put on. And the fifth is your subject matter knowledge. So even teachers know the importance of knowing their subject matter. And that's why if you haven't done one of the content areas, you're doing the content improvement modules so that you can develop your subject matter in all 4 strands in life science, which are energy and change, matter and materials, life and living, and the earth and beyond. Now, this is from Fresh Ideas, and I have included a link to the entire article so you can read the entire article if you so wish. Now, according to the BBC Bite Size page, mental preparation is that ability to succeed and perform at their best. Athletes need to use their minds as well as their bodies. So these are mental techniques to help control their emotions, manage stress, improve participation and performance. And as a teacher, you will go through all of those. Sometimes you'll get angry, students aren't listening to you. You have to control your emotions. You need to manage the stress, and it's to improve your participation and performance as a teacher. So the 3 things that you should have read about were preparation factors. So they're things that an athlete, for example, must do to prepare for the race, all the training and so on. As a teacher, you also need to do all that preparation. Then the visualization, see yourself winning, see yourself succeeding, see yourself in that classroom teaching content that you know is difficult. And that's what mental rehearsal is for. You might need to mentally rehearse, for example, how to control your emotions when they're not listening to you and then don't follow instructions and so on. And then it's motivation. A teacher also needs that motivation, both extrinsic and intrinsic factors. So the extrinsic is when somebody else is pushing you. Intrinsic is your internal emotion. So is your internal emotion because you love teaching, you love children, and so on. So those are the 3 factors. So when Caster Semenya won her races, she had gone through things like that: the preparation, the visual and mental rehearsal, and the motivation. And we only see the end result. We see her winning, carrying that flag. We don't see all the preparation that went into getting to that point of winning. And that's where the apprenticeship of observation comes in. Now, with acting or stage productions, it's the same thing. You see the final product. You see what they do on stage. You don't know about the hours and hours of rehearsals and set building and preparation that has to go into putting on that final stage production, which is what we see. We don't see all that preparation for the stage. And it's the same with teaching. You will be doing preparation. You put in so many other things to be able to teach in class. Now, to end this first session for this module, I'd like to give you some time to practice doing a mental rehearsal. So there is a very short mental rehearsal activity up on Ulwazi. It deals with you standing in front of your laboratory waiting for that first class to come in, and it's a group of grade 9s. You can respond to the assignment directly online. There's a text box. Please limit yourself to a maximum of 450 words for this practice. But what I will do, each of you that submit this practice assignment, I will look at your response and I will give you feedback. Thank you, PGCE students, for doing the first session here of the the introduction to the first module on becoming a science teacher. As you can see, I will try and ensure that all of these sessions are no longer than 10 minutes in terms of the video recording, and the other aspects shall also be like short engagements. So hopefully I can keep up with your work program, because remember, this is an online module, so literally you can work at your own pace. You can sit down, you can do all of the sessions in one sitting. You can decide to divide them up into 3 sessions or 4 sessions, or you can do 1 session at a time. That is one of the advantages of online learning, is that you can literally work at your own pace. So as I said, I just hope that I can keep up with your pace of learning and ensure that all 14 sections of this module are up for those of you who are going to work through this module fairly quickly. Okay, so until next time, see you in class.